Hey everyone, it's Emily, and I'm back to discuss the climate policies of some different 2020 Democratic candidates. So yes, I have filmed 4 videos in one day, and you've seen this outfit a lot, but we're just gonna keep rolling because I'm too lazy to change. So I wanted to talk about a couple of different candidates, and I'm gonna do that because there isn't gonna be as much to discuss on these 2 candidates as there will be on some of the other major 2020 candidates. So I want to talk about Cory Booker and Kamala Harris. And although they have both been very vocal about environmental issues in general, they both have been very slow to roll out specific climate policies, at least as of the time I'm filming this. So I'm filming this in late June, and I'll link the one where I talked about Elizabeth Warren either in the cards or down below as the first video I did in this series. But I wanted to talk more in depth about some of the proposals that candidates have made, the major Democratic candidates, before the debates later on in July. So as of filming this, and this could easily change in the next couple of weeks before these are posted, but Cory Booker and Kamala Harris haven't come out with specific climate plans, at least to the degree that some of the other candidates have. So I wanted to kind of group them together because I think they'll be pretty brief to talk about. So let's first talk about Cory Booker. So for him, and a lot of the discussion that he's had around climate change has centered around racial justice and the injustice and the disproportionate impact that environmental issues, including climate change, have had on communities of color. So he comes from Newark, New Jersey, has very much experienced this firsthand in his community and the people that he's served in New Jersey as a senator. So racial justice is kind of a central way that he views, or the lens that he views environmental issues through, including climate change. So he has endorsed the Green New Deal. He kind of views this as an economic and a job and health issues, and kind of sees those all as tied together. And so he has come out in favor of the Green New Deal, and I'm hoping that he'll kind of take that and make a specific example of how he feels we could achieve something like what he aspires when he's talking about the Green New Deal, so that we can evaluate kind of what he thinks that process might look like. He has a very strong environmental record in terms of his votes. He's rejected Keystone. He has in the past been in favor of a price on carbon, of course very much dependent on how that's actually constructed and whether or not it would be harmful to marginalized groups and disproportionately impact low-income people. In terms of the way that pricing on carbon is structured, he wants to make sure that that does not affect low-income communities. So it depends on how it's structured, but he has come out in favor in the past of a price on carbon. He has, unlike quite a few other candidates, he has been willing to endorse nuclear as a way to kind of help decarbonize and kind of be a bridge to other cleaner, more sustainable forms of energy. He also has taken the No Fossil Fuel Pledge, actually co-sponsored. So the legislation I spoke about in the video on Elizabeth Warren, as I said, I'll link it down below or up above. So in that video I talk about legislation that she helped put together with Cory Booker. So we actually co-sponsored some legislation that dealt with risk disclosure and kind of wanting companies to disclose the impact that climate change might have on their financial assets, as well as just their business, and as well as posting information about their emissions. So he has been supportive of that legislation as well, but he hasn't come out with a more specific climate plan as of when I'm filming this. So I also want to talk about Kamala Harris, and she is another one that has a very strong environmental record overall. So in her political career as Attorney General of California, as well as working in the San Francisco, Oakland area, has been very supportive of groups who are trying to hold oil companies accountable for climate change and trying to figure out when oil companies and other companies knew the impacts of climate change, at what point they knew it would affect people, and that kind of cover up. So she, in her legal experience, has helped kind of invest in legal struggles that people have had against oil companies to try to force them to confront climate change. So that includes actions against ExxonMobil, as well as briefs supporting San Francisco and Oakland against other oil companies. So that's very much been a focus of part of her work. She also supports the Green New Deal, but again has not come out with a specific plan for potentially what the Green New Deal means to her and how she might achieve that vision of what she wants. Because the Green New Deal is very much something that can be articulated in very different ways for different candidates, and they might be able to accomplish that different vision in very different ways. So she hasn't come out with a specific way that she might want to achieve a vision that relates to the topics discussed in the Green New Deal. She has been very vocal against the environmental rollbacks that have been happening in the EPA and other departments and agencies during the Trump administration. She has also taken the No Fossil Fuel pledge, and obviously both of these candidates very much have been accepting a scientific consensus that climate change is very real and a threat, and that it is predominantly human caused. So those are very brief discussions of Cory Booker and Kamala Harris and where they've stood so far as specific climate proposals as they move forward in their candidacy for the Democratic nomination in 2020. I will link more information below. Again, I'll be writing a blog post to give a little bit more detail and links to more resources to kind of help compile that information in one place and give a little bit more detail. And I will be making more videos that go more in depth about a smaller number of candidates later on once these details are out and there's been kind of more analysis and study of those plans. So let me know what you think about these plans, what you thought about Elizabeth Warren's. Let me know, are you going to watch the debates coming up in July? What did you think of the ones in June? Be sure to subscribe for more information on climate change, sustainability, as well as books, and I'll link my Twitter and Instagram below. That's where I like to hang out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.